Hey gang, the next section of the iSearch paper is, I like to call it the W section. It's the what I want to know section. It's actually the second section of the introduction. In the beginning, we practiced together as a class writing an anecdote of how we became interested in the topic, and then eventually what we know about the topic, and then a purpose for research. Here, in this graphic organizer, I went ahead and I wrote an example of a purpose statement. Notice that it is kind of broken down into two sections. It's actually taking a question and then making it sound like a statement. So in my research, I would like to find out how TV and print media affect the decisions and self-image of teenagers. Notice here, if I just go ahead and look at this, how TV and print media affect the decisions and self-image of teenagers, that reads as a question, and I just add in the other in my research, and I would like to find out. It makes it sound more like a statement. This is my main question that I need to find the answer to. But in order to find the answer to this big question, I need to break it up into a series of smaller questions or essential questions. So here, this is what I did. I broke it down into 3. In your research paper, you would break it down into like 5. So, for instance, I wrote down, can media influence teenagers' values in education? Can media influence the decisions and apparel a teenager chooses to wear? And last, can media influence how a teenager's healthy choices? So tend to notice here's 3 questions that basically around the idea of self-image and making healthy decisions. Last, after you go ahead and you formulate those, the good thing to reflect on in your paper as well is, why are these great questions to ask? In your iSearch paper, I will ask you to go ahead and reflect on each individual question and why this is a good question to go ahead and research. And yes, can you modify these questions? Yes. Can you change them if you just have a difficulty finding the answers to these questions? Sure you can, and you could even reflect on that you had a difficulty answering some of these questions, so you had to change them up. That's absolutely fine. Last is part of the introduction. This will be the concluding part of the introduction, is where are you going to conduct your research? What resources will you use and why? You should reflect on the process that you are going to take when it comes time for you to begin your research. What are the best places to look? Who are you going to interview? What articles are you going to tend to read? Are you going to use the internet? Are you going to use videos and podcasts and so on and so forth? What are you going to be using in order to conduct your research and why? Go ahead and also to compare this model with this model that I gave you guys in class. Go ahead and read the last 3 paragraphs, and this will you'll definitely be able to see how the two line up. I'm not going to read that through this tutorial because of the fact that it will bore you to death, but definitely by looking at my notes and looking at what was written in this iSearch model, I think you'll be able to make a nice connection there and begin your own writing. Alright, take care. Bye.